So PewDiePie.
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 Hey, what's up, legends? PewDiePie today. Here we go. How did he make it through all the hate, the media backlash? PewDiePie broke 100 million subscribers a little while back, and he keeps going. There's nothing stopping him. There are things that PewDiePie did and does to make it big on YouTube and stay big. Today, you guys get to find out from Scott and I. Almost 1.5 million subs combined. We have around 300 million views. We're going to show you guys exactly what PewDiePie did and how you guys can emulate his success and blow your own channels up. And for that little bit of extra help, if you guys need it from Scott and I, definitely check out the Zero to Legend course linked in the description below. And if not, join the free Discord anyways to learn and grow with all of us. Huge community. While you guys hit like and subscribe real quick, let me ask Scott this question to get us kicked off, because I got to hear it from a somewhat non-gamer. When I say PewDiePie, Scott, what comes to your mind?
Most successful YouTuber. And I know there are channels that have bigger subscriber bases, but let's just face it, man. PewDiePie takes a cake for being a solopreneur, doing it by himself, being the brand for 10 freaking years. 10 years.
And doing it in such like a crazy, like unprofessional man, right? We see these corporations just explode. They look so professional and neat and clean. He's just this goofy, like shaggy looking guy. I mean, there's funny edits and stuff. It's like, how did he do it? How did he become so successful? So we get to tell you guys today, but let's talk about the very first thing that everybody knows about PewDiePie, whether you can spend 10 seconds on his channel or years, right? He's been at it for 9 years, guys. He is genuine. He is unfiltered. He is himself. It's insane to see somebody so unapologetically in front of a worldwide audience just be so much himself. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, Denver and I were just talking about this a few minutes ago. PewDiePie has got the X factor, right? When he puts together a piece of content, he is the content, right? You watch it and you can just tell that this is a guy who is funny. He's passionate. He is authentic, super authentic. And I mean, I've seen enough videos from PewDiePie to know that like you can't fake it once you get to a certain point. It's just he has. How many videos do you have? 4,100 videos.
Yeah, over 4,000 uploads. And I heard that like 400 were privated. So we're talking about 4,500 uploads, which again, 9 years, we're talking over an upload a day, like for 9 years, man. Like, I don't know. Like you said, you can't fake that. At some point, you just got to, you have to be yourself, because you can't pretend anymore.
So we talk about this every week, right? Be the best authentic version of yourself. So meaning like PewDiePie, we know he's not going to always have that crazy Felix voices. He's not always going to have, he's not always going to be laughing and he's going to have his hard days. He's going to have the days that are difficult. But when he's on camera, he is Felix on YouTube. He's PewDiePie on YouTube, and that doesn't change. It's never changed, and it's awesome, and I love it.
He's probably himself. I mean, what you would assume, and let's talk about the second thing he does. It's like you're just hanging out with a good friend. You don't have to be somebody. He doesn't have to be somebody. Like the best friends, the most important people that we have in our lives that we can just, they're the ones where we can just be ourselves around. We don't have to worry about anything. We don't have to put a filter on, right? And he surely doesn't, man. He's been in trouble by that so many times, but for him, maybe that controversy did good. Like we talked about with Jake and Logan Paul, but he is literally just, it's like you're hanging out with a good friend. And so you combine those two, you're authentic, you're genuine yourself, but you can also make your community and your viewers feel just comfortable hanging out with you. Almost like if they met you in real life, they just know you. You're just a friend to them because they know so much about you. You know what I mean?
Well, what's funny is like when he's ragging on T-Series, he's ragging on Jake Paul.
Yeah,
like he's saying things that you would say to your friends. Like you see that? That's funny.
What is up time?
Wait, what is Jake Paul up to again? He's creating a financial course for people for kids. He's like and having them pay him for it. It's like he when he's trash talking anybody, it's all like good fun nature, and it's exactly how you would talk to your friend about it. So
it's almost like an uncle teasing you. You know, every time you're around him, the uncle's kind of giving you some crap, you know, in a loving way. You know, he cares about you, but that's just his way of connecting with people, and it's something we can all relate to. Because I mean, the best comedians, right, are the ones that can poke fun at the things we all want to say, and we just don't say it, right? So we're just like, oh yeah, he's right. I brought up, I just got to bring this point up, Scott. What what do you think about this? I think another important thing that a lot of YouTubers have is an accent that people can appreciate. And I know this sounds weird, but listen, like Australian YouTubers, they blow up. Now, is it better to have the accent? Is it because of the accent? I don't really know, but we hear people even talk about it like, oh man, I love his accent. I love his accent. And PewDiePie just has that natural accent. Can you imagine him with like just a regular American accent or like a Southern style of voice? I mean, would he have gone as far? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. He's got that, yeah, like squeaky Swedish like accent. And I'm not saying Swedish accent. Like, not that all Swedes have a squeaky accent, but he especially, because that's just the nature of his voice. Yep. And so you hear it and you're like, oh yeah, that's PewDiePie. That's PewDiePie. But you think about it in terms of like, do the Swedes care about his accent? No. Do Australians care about Australian accents? No. It's us in America who are sitting there like, yeah, that's cool. You know, I love the Australian accent. I love English accents.
Yeah.
So, but accent does a lot for your brand in America, for sure, hands down.
I know.
If you're not funny, you're an Aussie producing content for the United States, you're gonna win.
I mean, what's crazy? It's like that's not even a tip we can teach somebody, right? Don't fake an accent or something like that just to get more views. But it's like, man, let's just point that out. Let's just say accents do kind of help. So for any of you guys who are watching or like struggling, like, well, maybe people won't like my voice. Like, come on. Like I've heard a million people say that I said that. Scott maybe said that. I don't know. But like I've heard so many people say, oh, I don't know if people will like my voice. And it's like, people will like your voice, you know, but if you have an accent, I really do think it helps. I don't know. So PewDiePie, when I think of PewDiePie, I'm like, man, you know what? The guy, let me clarify. The guy was loud for the first, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years. He can still get loud too, but not like he was. He played horror games. So we're talking screams and stuff like this. So when we say be yourself, PewDiePie actually kind of broke some of those rules, but if you notice, he got away from that. Jacksepticeye, Scott, I don't know. Do you know Jacksepticeye?
No.
I was going to say Jacksepticeye, he is Scottish, right? So we're talking about accents again, but Jacksepticeye, he starts every video. I can't even do it, man, but he you know, snaps his fingers big up and in editing, he puts the whoosh sound. So, right. So he goes whoosh, and he goes, top of the morning to you laddies. And he's just literally like screaming into the microphone at you, right? You're the viewer, but it's like that kind of, and he's not laughing. It doesn't sound fake. Funny enough, he's very straight. It's just up here. And so it makes it like more engaging. And again, if you're trying to attract a younger or a particular audience, right? It might be, I don't know, teenager, or even below. I don't know. You have to go after the audience. So what did PewDiePie do? He's still himself, but he starts with really high energy. But then throughout the video, what he would do is he would kind of drop it down. He would be his human self. He would even have pretty deep talks in the middle of these like horror games that he started with, hey guys, and he would calm it down, man. And it's just so cool to see somebody have that energy, but be able to drop it down and still connect with our audience.
Well, you think about it too, like in the first 30 seconds, generally most channels are going to lose about 30 to 40% of their audience. True. It's just standard. That's what happens. And if you don't believe that, Kira, show them a graph proving it right here, right now.
Serious. Show it.
There you go, you guys.
Oh, did we get it? Okay, we got it.
There we go. There's your proof. There's your evidence. Most channels follow that trend line. And so if you don't come out swinging, you don't come out with a pattern interrupt, right? You're just like, whoa, what's going on here? Then you're going to lose most of your, or no, not most, but hopefully not most, a good chunk of your audience in the first 10 to 30 seconds. So coming out strong, coming out active and with a lot of action, a lot of motion, that's generally going to be helpful for keeping people on your videos for longer periods of time, especially in that beginning portion.
Yeah, that's true. Any piece of media ever. I mean, we're talking movies and stuff. Some of the best movies start off with something really like suspenseful, right? Or really funny. And then we go into the movie, right? And you're already sold. You're like, yeah, this is going to be good. I'm in for a good ride. But if you start out with, hey, what's up guys? Today, I'm going to show you guys, I'm out, right? I'm out unless I'm there for a specific reason. In that case, I'm going to skip and get to the part that I want to watch and then I'm out, right? So if you want people to stick around at the beginning, and notice we didn't tell Kira, we're not going to send her a graphic or anything because you can go to almost any video ever and people leave at the beginning. But how do you get less people to leave at the beginning of your videos? You have to start it with high energy and good content. So let's talk about the next thing that PewDiePie does to be successful, right? And this is something we could talk about for hours. We're not going to, but PewDiePie has a dedicated, loyal fan base and no one can shake it. I mean, the guy, I think that comes with part of being genuine and authentic. People just want to root for you. They want to cheer for you. But what is this guy? How did he build up such a massive fan base? I mean, he could literally be like, hey guys, I'm gonna have a meetup in I don't know, in New York City tomorrow, and he would have thousands of fans fly out just because he said, I want you all to be there. They would be there, man. Thousands of people, millions maybe, would show up to New York City just to see him. He has that kind of power and influence on his audience. How did he get there, dude? How did he do it?
So, I mean, there's a couple of things. Like, obviously, the authenticity plays a huge part into it. But as we're talking about YouTube, and you guys, you know this, every video that we've done so far, they follow the same pattern, right? There are general principles that if you follow these principles on YouTube, you will be successful as well. And one of the principles is having a category, a niche, and following that niche and making a ton of content that all falls in the niche from the beginning, and then dominating the YouTube algorithm, dominating search. And then as soon as you do that, as soon as you start to grow, like YouTube is going to just going to pump subscribers to you and views to you. And as you're growing, you're going to develop that fan base. And as you keep growing, the fan base gets bigger and blah, blah, blah. You guys know the end of it. Like you could end up like Felix or like a Mr. Beast, as long as you're starting by focusing on one content and becoming the king of that content category from the beginning.
That's true. Yeah, because YouTube will find people who you just relate to naturally, right? So as they're putting your videos out there, further and further and further, YouTube's gonna go, you know what, this person will probably like this personality. And that's how PewDiePie ended up with a lot of the fans that he has. But he also does some specific things, right? So a couple of the things that I've noticed that he does, he will actually, and this, I think in marketing, this is called throwing stones, right, Scott? He'll actually, like we talked about, poke fun at other YouTubers, right? And what that does is it kind of, the more divisive you are, we talked about this with Jake and Logan Paul, the more divisive you are, the more loyal your fan base is going to be. So you have to decide, do you want to be a really polarizing, divisive figure? PewDiePie, I don't think is, even though there are a lot of people out there who still hate him and think really bad things about him. And it's crazy, because we're like, why? How could you hate him? He has done some controversial things, some terrible things that he regrets and he wishes he could take back. But anyways, you have to be kind of divisive and polarizing. He also does a lot of meme stuff, and we can talk about memes, right? Scott and I are older, but listen, memes are basically, so Scott, I almost brought this up to you and I was like, no, let's get this in the video. When I show Kira, who's editing this now, hi Kira, or Scott, if I bring up an Office reference, and maybe even you guys watching right now, if I say something that Michael Scott said, right? You miss 100% of the shots you take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Something in our brain just goes, oh my gosh, I know what he's talking about. So when we bring like memes and culture and trends into our videos and mix it with our personality, people can immediately relate to us more. It's so funny. Even as a teacher, if I would show a video like you, Scott, you remember that video? I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. You remember that, right? Yeah. So I used to show that video all the time. It was so funny. There was even a song made from that video. I would show that to my students. They would associate, he's cool. He's funny. He knows trends. He knows culture, right? It's something more relatable. I wasn't just the old guy teacher. I was like the young, cool, hip teacher. Now, I wasn't trying to be that. And PewDiePie, I don't think tries to be that. He is just a meme kind of person, but he does that. And if you're not used to that, start doing that. Even at the beginning of your videos, in the first 5 or 10 seconds, throw a little meme in. It actually does way more than you think in terms of relating with your audience. Scott, do you want to add to that? Sorry, that was a long answer there.
That's all right. That'll be your entire cut, and we'll just have me sitting there like this. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it makes you relatable to your audience, like Denver said. And the thing is, like, if you can have inside jokes that you share with your audience, that's going to go a long way towards building that bond, that like unbreakable diehard fan bond. And then, like Denver was talking about, when you have controversy, when you have divisiveness, and you've got, the casting shade, the throwing stones on other creators, right? That develops a me versus them type of an attitude. And if you get people to support your me versus them, then that also solidifies your fan base and your diehard fan base, the people who will follow you to the end of the world, because now they are in your tribe and it's you against the world.
Yep.
And that's what people want. They want to feel like they belong to something bigger than themselves. Everybody thrives on community. That's why we have churches, and that's why we have neighborhoods, and that's why we have apartment complexes,
and that's why we have, and everything else.
And we have sports teams. And because when you associate yourself with one type of a tribe, then you find your community, and those community members get you, and you form bonds that are unbreakable. So create a tribe that is based around something that's bigger than you. And sometimes that's going to be memes. Sometimes that's going to be television shows. Sometimes that's going to be sports teams. But if you can create that tribe around something bigger than you, then you are going to find your diehard fans and your audience there.
Now, sometimes that's going to be a huge competition against T-Series where your entire community is going to back you and it's going to spread to even wider communities. And before you know it, everybody was for PewDiePie. You had the entire internet backing PewDiePie. There were literal marches against T-Series. It was so funny. It was like, here's a single YouTuber, like a legit YouTuber versus a corporation. I mean, it exploded. And Scott, we were talking about the song he made. We can't actually say the title of the song that he made.
Beep lasagna, man.
Beep lasagna. There we go.
Hero, just put beep over it when we say beep.
Dude, I mean, talk about throwing stones. Talk about he created a competition. T-Series didn't care, dude. They don't care at all. If anything, it was good for them, right? And this is why Jake and Logan Paul will create controversy just so people have to choose sides and they have more loyal fans. And yeah, a lot of haters, but they profit from it, right? They get more views from it. So anyway, let's talk about this with PewDiePie, right? Before the days of 100 million subscribers, right? You go back into PewDiePie's history, and I bring this up with anybody I'm telling about YouTube. The ups and downs of YouTube stop most people. You'll have a really good month. The next month you might tank, and people are like, I'm done. I'm out of this. I'm gone. My number one thing almost that I teach people, I have like 5 number ones. Well, we'll just call this one of my number ones that I teach people about YouTube is start and don't ever stop. Right?
Never.
Does that make sense, Guy?
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I teach too, I mean, we're on the same page for sure. Yep. One of the things that I teach though, is that when people will get so in their head about the last upload that they did, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm watching it. It only got 1 view last hour. I didn't get any subscribers from it. Actually, it went backwards, and they're just in their head about that one upload. And what I always tell everybody is forget about it. Move on to the next one.
Move on.
Because
that's so true, man.
You have an unlimited number of opportunities to reach your audience. If one's a dud, who cares? Move on to the next one. And if you're constantly committed to getting better with every video, then you're going to get there eventually. So don't worry about the stuff that you created. Just move on to the next one.
I mean, think about this. So let's say you put your heart and soul into your videos, right? And so you put out 10 videos and they're each getting like 5 views a day, right? So you're getting like 50 views a day. That's good and all, but you slowed yourself down by only doing 10 videos. So you got to think in the future, when I have 100 videos, I mean, in a week or 2 weeks or even a month, you're not going to care about what that video did, whether you lost a subscriber or not. You just have to keep on putting quality content out. Next thing you know, you'll be like PewDiePie, maybe not exactly with 4,000 uploads or more, but imagine imagine yourself at 200 uploads, right? And each of those are getting 5 views a day. I mean, already you're multiplying in those residual views. Yeah. So you have to start and you have to never stop. And I swear you will learn everything along the way. You're going to learn how to be authentic. You're going to learn how to, all the little tips and tricks about titles and thumbnails and stuff like that. But you have to start and you have to never ever stop. Now, the one thing you can do, Scott and I, we tell you guys, you can put the work in, you can put the time in, right? But knowledge is the one big thing. And you guys are already here. So this is your first step. But again, check out the course down below. But let's talk about the next thing that PewDiePie does to be able to connect with his audience and make that bond so powerful that people are cheering him on and clicking every single video. He mixed in vlogs. Now, Scott, you and I talk about your niche. Are we calling it a niche or a niche?
Niche.
Whatever comes out. We'll call it the end. We're tired of saying it. He did what you're not supposed to do on YouTube, and that is go from one type of content to another type of content. Maybe this worked because he was one of the earlier YouTubers and the algorithm wasn't quite set for that yet. We don't really know, but he went from gaming. Every once in a while, he would throw in a vlog and he would just talk directly to his community, celebrate subscribers and stuff. Now, let's say this, because this is the truth. They always had less views than the regular gaming content videos, but I don't know. What do you think about that, Scott?
Here's the deal, man. Once you get a number, once you have an astronomical number like PewDiePie has of subscribers that are following him, you can do whatever you want and you're going to be successful.
Yep.
You can climb out of that niche if you want to and start doing something different and show a different side of yourself because you have loyalty from your fans who want to see all the sides of you. right? And so with PewDiePie, I don't even think it's that big of a deal, right? For you guys who are just starting, maybe you're just starting, maybe you've got 1 million subscribers, I don't know. But for those of you who are just starting, or for those of you who feel like you're trapped in your category or your niche, then you need to understand, like, if you want to be successful and you want to climb out of that and you want to be a household name like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast, that you need to show multiple sides of you. So I don't know, Denver, you and I might agree, we might disagree on this, I don't know. But the point is that if you want to be a household brand name, you have to show more than one side of you. And YouTube, who cares if they are only fueling one specific category? It doesn't matter. You have to be willing to take a step and take a step outside of your comfort zone and start creating content that might get lower views for a little while, because the risk will be worth it in the long run. Because you'll develop more diehard fans and you'll reach a broader audience.
That's what it is. So we talk about, I think you mentioned this a lot, Scott, is super fans, which, I never use that. The more super fans you can get, the better you're going to do, right? They'll follow you anywhere. It's these people who feel like they know you, they're cheering you on. They love everything that you do. Right. And there's going to be some people that might watch you one time, they never leave. There are people that might watch you for a whole year and they're gone. I mean, who knows? But you need more super fans. And how do you do that? By connecting with people, right? You have to connect with people. Now, me and my niche, whatever we want to call it, it's hard for me to connect, right? I'm doing like Fortnite news and updates and controversial stories. But here's the thing that I do. I give people, insight and a different take and something other than here's what happened, right? I'm not a news reporter. I'm not an anchor. I'm me. I'm Denver. I will say what I want to say. People are like, yeah, but you're not supposed to be biased in news. I'm like, I'm not news. This is my take. This is my channel. These are my videos. I'm going to say what I want to say to be able to connect with my audience, and that's just how you have to get. So let's talk about the last thing that we can't even say the last thing, but the next thing that PewDiePie does that makes him so successful. He's an OG. He started 9 years ago. He's 4,500 videos in, right? And we're talking over an upload a day on average for 9 years straight. All right. He had to adapt. At the beginning, especially in gaming, you gamers out there, Scott, I don't know if you're aware, you used to play a game for 20, 25 minutes, put it up on YouTube and put a little thumbnail that said, for PewDiePie, it was Amnesia Part 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
Name of game Part 7. You cannot do, listen, I might upset some people, and I have before, because I tell them, you can't do that anymore. It doesn't work like that. The best YouTubers are the ones who will adapt and be able to stick out amongst the audience. I think I heard somebody say this morning, if you put your video up against 15 other people's videos, is your video going to be in first place? Is it going to be in second place? Where do you want that video to be? We want first place. If I name my video today, Skyrim Let's Play Part 322, guess what? No one's going to click it because they don't want to watch parts 1 through 321. They're not going to watch part 322. What do? Pick something exciting that happened in that video and make it the title of that video. They don't care what part it is. I mean, if you want to put it in the description or something like that and say, hey, if you want to watch the video before this, then click this, click this link here or have a playlist or something. Have the option that people want to continue watching a series if that's what you want to call it, but make these standalone videos that YouTube can push out to a wide variety of people and bring them into your audience. All right. You have to do that. PewDiePie had to adapt. What do you think about all that, man? The gaming world.
No. Yeah, I totally 100% agree. You have to sensationalize your stuff now. 10 years ago, completely different landscape. There weren't near as many creators as there are now trying to do the same stuff, right? And then copying each other and then seeing what trends are taking off. And then I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the same thing. And then having everybody competing for the same space, right? That wasn't a thing back then. Now it is. And so you have to find ways to stand out. And PewDiePie has. I mean, obviously PewDiePie totally different because in 2013 he was the 2013, 2014 he became the highest subscribed to channel that wasn't a Vivo channel. And so that was his thing. But for other people like Mr. Beast, his thing, challenges. We talked about this last week. Challenges for what's another Ninja, for his Ninja, obviously his thing, gaming, Fortnite,
right?
Everybody has a thing who's massively successful. And so you have to adapt to that. You have to see, like, YouTube is transitioning all the time. Their algorithm is changing. I mean, this year we had Kappa. Last year, 2 years ago, we had Admageddon, which was like, you had to shift your content in order to stay on top of the game at YouTube. And so you have to be constantly ready to shift and adapt to whatever YouTube throws at you, but also whatever the culture throws at you as well, because the culture is constantly shifting.
Culture is a big thing. I think that's why PewDiePie is, is at the level that he is now, is because he adapted to culture changes, right? The algorithm, he's even talked about the algorithm. He even told YouTube that he was very upset with them. He said, you guys don't have an idea of what it's like when you constantly change things on the back end. You don't know what that's like for us content creators that struggle with all of a sudden one day having 50% less views, right? So what PewDiePie did is he was able to overcome the algorithm changes by moving with the culture. And he noticed this. Go look at his video titles and stuff. They're totally different. You cannot do part 1 anymore. You cannot just upload a video, guys, and have no editing at all and expect to ever blow up. Maybe you're happy with 10 views. Maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe you're happy with the 50 views it got on. See, Denver, I got 50 views on this video, so it's okay. Listen, there's a cap to whatever you decide to do on YouTube. An unedited Skyrim Let's Play Part 1 has a cap to it, which might be 100 views in years from now. But what PewDiePie did, he was slowly able to adapt to something that we all can relate to and something we want to watch, and we don't have to watch 100 parts before it, right? We can just stand alone. I just want to binge watch this right now, get this 10-minute video and look, oh, cool, another 10-minute awesome video that I want to watch too. So anyways, that was a long point. It's a lot to talk about when we're talking about adapting to YouTube changing, because that's huge, man. And it's so frustrating for a lot of us.
Yeah, but I think that the biggest thing that we want to get across here is that everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own journey. The principles kind of stay the same among the different categories, or whatever it is that you're doing, the niches that you're involved with, whether that's gaming or vlogging or beauty or whatever, right? But the thing is one of the things that stood out to me with PewDiePie that he says is, he's like, do what makes you happy. And a lot of the times, like, your adaptation might just be shifting to something that maybe nobody else is doing, but it makes you completely happy. And that's totally fine. You just have to remember, like, if you don't want to burn out, you have to stay passionate. You have to stay happy with what you're doing.
It's true.
And if you do that, then sky's the limit, you guys. Sky is the limit. So anything else you want to say about PewDiePie?
I think that wraps it up. Yeah, if you guys have comments, leave them. We'd love reading what you guys are saying. We're glad this kind of content is helping you guys as well. Again, make sure you check out the description. If you just want to pull up the course, just check it out. I mean, it's awesome. We have legends blowing up right now that are probably down and even watching this video right now. If not, just click the free Discord. We have a ton of content on there for you guys too. You can learn, join a community of people who are also trying to do the same thing you are, which is growing a YouTube channel. So hit like, make sure you guys hit subscribe right now. We're going to have plenty of videos coming out soon, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Peace.